Oh, hey guys, Script over here with another video. And yes, I am not pleased with, once again, something that they've canonized. Yeah, I just don't, I think they're running out of ideas, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. The lack of new, interesting characters in the sequels has now led to them just saturating every possible anything they can from the original trilogy characters, prequel trilogy characters. It's getting to the point where it's frustrating. Like it's one thing to drain it every idea possible and just, milk it till the cows come home, no pun intended, but it's another thing to do it in a bad way, in a way that's just not smart, I don't think. And that's kind of where we are now with what they're doing with Leia now. The headline's a little strange. Star Wars confirms why Leia didn't belong in Luke Skywalker's Jedi Order. She would have been corrupted. And I just think, honestly, when you see this, I think this is just them trying to make something different with Leia. That's what it reeks of. It doesn't seem to fit. It's just a way to, look, there's something different about her than you thought. It's like another one of these subvert expectations scenarios, to me at least. Contains spoilers for Star Wars The Battle of Jakku. Insurgency Rising #1. Is anyone buying these? As Marvel's Star Wars comics enter the era directly after Return of the Jedi, fans are seeing for the first time how Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker reacted to Darth Vader's death. That means fans are just now bearing witness to the immense anger Leia had towards her father, a feeling that offers the potential for corruption, as Luke attempts to train her as a Jedi. We do know how Luke reacted to Darth Vader's death, and we kind of know how Leia reacted to his death. I guess not the details about that, but while the rest of her found family are partying, what's with this found family? Is this like a let's legitimize Rey by saying Leia had a found family? That's what it seems like, these articles. It's like a never-ending sequel trilogy apology tour with the media, with the Star Wars media. It just never ends. Her found family? You mean her future husband and her brother? That's not a found family. Princess Leia sneaks off to visit Darth Vader's funeral pyre. To say goodbye to her father face to face, she goes, originally not knowing what she's hoping to find, just that she doesn't feel the joy of what should be a happy moment. She doesn't feel the joy of what should be a happy moment? Why would it be a happy moment? If my dad was an evil, crazy guy and he died, I still wouldn't be happy. So weird. Some do, at least. For others, it is a victory tinged with something sharp and bitter. Regret. And it's even more potent sibling anger. Does anyone need this? Do you guys need this? Do we need Leia going to his funeral pyre? I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. I was under the impression that if she was going to go to that, then she would have been there when Luke was there, because he was there for what seemed like quite a while, just staring into the fire. So what? He just walked away while he was burning still, and then she shows up. It's a little bit weird, but it's content, right? And they're like I said, they've milked it to the point where there's so little left. So this is where they've gone now. Leia reflects that she wishes she had the ability to forgive like Luke did when Vader returned to the light side, but with all the bad he had caused as Vader, the lives he took, the people he hurt, and those he left behind, all she finds herself feeling is anger. Okay, Leia wishes that she had the ability to forgive, and all she has is anger. Okay, so anger is an emotion, right? So there's this movement in today's world where we're letting people off the hook for emotion. Anger is an emotion. She has the ability to control that, right? And in fact, in the Star Wars universe, Yoda makes that very clear. Anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering. So don't don't be angry. In other words, control yourself, Luke. Control your emotions when he's training Luke, right? And Empire Strikes Back. She wishes she had the ability to forgive like Luke did. Well, that's not an ability. That's just something anyone can do. Anyone can forgive anyone. But we're in this era right now where people are authors, people in media, just people everywhere, teachers, everybody is pushing this idea that your emotions are just not controllable and it's just the way it is and you can't stop yourself from this emotion. And yeah, you can. Like, sure, we've all lashed out, we've all done stupid stuff, we've all gotten mad, we've all whatever, but looking back, it's not like I can be like blaming just the universe for the fact that I got emotional. so right off the bat, this is already dumb. Oh no. Leia's anger towards Darth Vader conflicts with the Jedi way. Because we got to have something, because there's nothing else going on, so we got to talk about this now. She's got to be angry for some reason. Leia, we need to talk. We're talking now. Luke, brother, it's nice to call you that. What is that? What is it? Why would she respond like that? Hey, Leia, we need to talk. We're talking now. It's like, it's kind of like this is belligerent. It's weird, dude. I know you visited Vader, our father's remains. You followed me? So she's already like belligerent and... No, not exactly. I sensed it, felt your anger. It came to me. I think I have a lot to be upset about, Luke. Don't you? Our father. Anger leads to darkness, Leia. We can't let that drive us. Like, it's just corny. It's just corny. Anger leads to darkness, Leia. Like, why is she all mad for? Control yourself. You're not 17 anymore. And that's when you met Vader, when you, initially, like, Leia does eventually train with her brother Luke in the ways of the Force, but she doesn't become a Jedi. I was never a fan of that. Everybody doesn't need to be a Jedi. Sabine doesn't need to be a Jedi. Leia doesn't need to be a Jedi. Leia has a very compelling and interesting arc without being a Jedi. Not everybody needs to be a Jedi. Leia was Luke's first student, doing her training on Agen Kloss, as seen in The Rise of Skywalker. What? She can't be Luke's first student if she's training in The Rise of Skywalker. That doesn't even make any sense. But that was long before Luke built his Jedi temple on Ossus. That was before that? In The Rise of Skywalker? Which happens after? This is confusing. Eventually, she has visions of serving elsewhere in the galaxy, such as the New Republic Senate, and she gives up her lightsaber. However, new information from the Battle of Jakku, Insurgency Rising number 1, suggests that she wouldn't have made it in Luke's new Jedi Order anyway. Of course, so we have to... This is another sequel trilogy retcon. Because she sorta trains and kinda knows the Force. She floated through space, but nobody really understands how that's even possible, even if she was trained. And then she's kind of, but not training Rey. So now we have to retcon and make it so she kinda trains, but doesn't, and then gives up her lightsaber so that the Rise of Skywalker kinda makes sense. This is where we're at. This is how bad this is. The storytelling is so terrible. After the Battle of Endor and after the parties have ended, Luke Skywalker approaches Leia and tells her he sensed her anger while she visited her father's remains. Leia argues that she has a lot to be upset about. They all do. After everything Darth Vader has done in his lifetime. The war has left scars that need to be healed. She's not a Jedi. She's a person with emotions that cannot be buried. No, you just can't bury your emotions, ladies. Your emotions have to just control you forever. So stupid. She's an adult. Luke offers to train her in the ways of the Jedi, but Leia is very hesitant to accept before they are interrupted. Leia Organa would have been corrupted by the dark side. Yeah, so to justify the weird, not trained version of Leia we got in the sequels, now we have to say that she couldn't have gone all the way with it because she would have been corrupted. It's just corny. It's a retcon of a retcon of a retcon that was retconned by retconning. It's just, that's all they do now. I'm not like Luke. Luke can forgive with an ease I strain for. Oh, and so now, and then they have his charred helmet. So that we can be like, oh, see, Kylo could have found that. He could have went down and got it. Look, she throws it. This is as bad as this is almost as bad as Luke throwing his lightsaber. Like, really, why are you picking up Vader's mask and throwing it? Oh, it's awful. It's just awful, this stuff. I'm not like Luke. Luke can forgive with an ease I strain for. Why are you talking out loud? There's nobody there. All I feel is anger over all the things you did and the people you hurt. Yeah, I mean, I get it, Alderaan and all that, but like, this just feels so forced as like a way, again, to justify the sequel weird Force-using but not Force-using Leia that they gave us. And again, you can control yourself. You can control yourself. You don't have to be mad. It's gone. It's done anyway. Like, what are you going to do? You can't go back. Even though they are both heroes in the Rebel Alliance, Princess Leia's path differs greatly from Luke's. Leia states she had the ability to forgive, blah, blah, blah. We already know that. Just as Anakin Skywalker's justified anger and desperation were used to corrupt him, Leia was primed to follow the same path, but she doesn't. Leia's enduring anger towards Vader is exactly the kind of emotion that the dark side uses to tempt Jedi, ultimately making it a good thing that, despite some training, Leia ultimately chose to use her abilities elsewhere. While Luke Skywalker is determined to train Leia Organa as a Jedi, it's not to be, and the Star Wars galaxy is likely better off because of it. But you literally just said she trained. Training on Adjutant Claw. Like, it's such a mess. Like, all they had to do, and this is Rian Johnson, 100%. This one's on him, because in The Force Awakens, Leia shows absolutely zero acumen in the Force whatsoever. She's still a rebel leader or whatever, resistance leader. We changed the word so you wouldn't notice it's the same thing. And she doesn't actually use the Force to do anything. She's just a military leader and, you know, a good leader, and that's what she was in the OT. And then all of a sudden Rian Johnson had her flying through space, but then Carrie Fisher died. And so you can't have her being a Jedi now. It's pretty much impossible to do. So she's sort of a Jedi, but not, because she did use the Force in a way that you would never even be able to anyway. You're in the vacuum of space, but whatever. And then now we have, oh, well, what do we do? What do we do? How do we explain this? Oh, she was mad. She was mad. That's why she never fully got trained. She was mad. Like, that's the best they could come up with. But that's where we're at now, guys. It's become such a joke. This is so stupid. And I just want to say finally, like, for those of you that don't know, everything they're doing now is to explain stupid stuff that already happened. That, like, the entirety of the content is to explain stupid stuff that already happened. And even with something like Rogue One, it's not a terrible film by any means. It's actually pretty decent. But it was explaining something that didn't really need to be explained. Right? Everything they're doing is just explaining upon explaining upon explaining, or the retcon of the retcon of the retcon that was retcon because it was retcon by retconning. So that's where we're at. This is stupid. I don't need to see this. I don't need to see her flick his helmet back so that Ben can come in an hour and come get it. Like, he was burning. Everything should just be completely gone. Where's his, like, charred, melted head inside there? Like, really? Nobody thinks of that? You know, like, how did Ben peel away the melted fat and skin from the inside of Vader's helmet and have it just sitting in his room? Like, it's so stupid and lame and dumb. And again, everything's about how crappy the sequels are. Everything they're doing, everything they continue to do, everything Filoni's doing right now with his movie, everything everyone's doing is to explain how stupid and awful the sequels are. That's just going to continue, I think, until it's dead in about 5 or 10 years. Let me know in the comment section what you think. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Also helps the channel. Feel free to check out anything else on my channel. Have yourselves a very, very good day.